Walker for three. Yes! UAB in front, 7.7. Over midcourt. 5 seconds, right to the cup. It's down! Tie game! UAB has it. Walker again.
Foul.
4-point play could arrive for Walker. Jackson into Walker. Corner, twisting three. How did he hit it? The UAB Blazers onto the championship game. And they have a chance to snap the longest NCAA tournament drought in their program history.
And so Jordan Walker looking to back up a legendary performance in the CUSA semifinals against Middle Tennessee. 12 of his 40 in that third overtime, and now we are set for UAB and Louisiana Tech. I need some picks here. Two teams coming off quite opposite performances. Wally, who you got here?
I'm going La Tech. Kenneth Lofton Jr., I think he's going to dominate on the interior. They won a hard-fought game last game, and I think UAB's got to be exhausted after that triple overtime game.
I couldn't face Kenneth Lofton Jr.'s father. Port Arthur's finest, H-Town. No question, Eric Kunkel, I'm going with La Tech.
Wow.
Oh, UAB, are you kidding? They are energized from that triple overtime win. They put up 102 points.
See?
To 42 for, I mean, I know they had a couple extra minutes, but.
They're young, Wally. They're young. Triple
UAB.
overtime is great for them.
Michael Order played 55 minutes.
Jordan Jelly
You're
Walker.
tired. I'm tired.
We're all
Both of you at halftime. Automatic bin. Let's go.
So the stage is set, and just two remain. Looking to join a group of CUSA Cinderellas who have etched their names into March immortality.
Takes the jumper.
Middle Tennessee, a 15 seed, is going to take down the Michigan State Spartans.
It is a March miracle for Marshall, and it's the Mean Green Wrecking Machine.
The UAB Blazers are still standing after an instant classic. While Louisiana Tech has waited 30 years to get back to the dance and are ready for their moment. The Louisiana Tech Bulldogs knock off the reigning tournament champs. The Bulldogs are in the Conference USA Championship game. Jackson into Walker, corner, twisting three. How did he hit it? Who will live out a March fantasy and shine bright at the Star? You're watching the Heritage Landscape Supply Group Conference USA Championship. Win and you're in to the NCAA tournament. Louisiana Tech faces UAB. And they arrived here quite differently. Their semifinals about as disparate as you can find. The lowest scoring game in Division I all year propelled Louisiana Tech past the reigning king in North Texas, while UAB in Middle Tennessee played only the second triple overtime game in the history of this tournament. And we welcome into the floor John Sadak alongside NBA Coach of the Year and champion and Avery Johnson. Here it is, Coach, the two preseason favorites at Conference USA. They arrived here with such different semifinals. Their leaders are so different as players.
Yeah, they're different as players. Jordan Walker and Kenneth Lofton Jr., they're built differently in stature, but both have very highly competitive winning spirits, and I can't wait to watch these guys.
Louisiana Tech, it's been over 3 decades. They have been close, but not quite there. 6 coaches, 3 conferences, over 11,000 days, 0-4 in conference championships entering today, including their first year in Conference USA in 2014. But this year's edition has a gold medal winner in Kenneth Lofton Jr.
I just love Kenneth Lofton Jr. Look at him, very photogenic. This kid's just a winner. And I know he's so happy that he's in Ruston playing for Louisiana Tech, a much improved outside shooter. He does a good job of defending without fouling, and he hit a huge spree yesterday against North Texas.
That was only his 4th triple make of the year. It's been some time for UAB, not 3 decades, but the longest drought in Blazer history since 2015 when they knocked off Iowa State as a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. And this year's edition is blessed with the player of the year of the conference in Jordan Jelly Walker.
Yeah, Jelly Walker's like the little engine that could. He's saying, look, I may be 5'10" on a good day, but he makes huge threes, unbelievable body control. He was perfect from the free throw line, 13 for 13 on yesterday. He ran out of real estate on his three-point shot and still converted it. Love this young man.
Two jubilant stars at the Star. Who will taste the joy of the NCAA tournament as Junior meets Jelly and one is on to the big dance? The stands flush as we welcome you back to the Star, the championship at Conference USA, Louisiana Tech, and UAB. For the game, Star's routine is everything, and no star has shined brighter at Conference USA than Jordan Walker. For more, let's check in with A.J. Ross.
John, Jordan Jelly Walker has hit 79 three-pointers against conference opponents. That is second most in all of D1. He credits his teammates as well as Coach Andy Kennedy for both their confidence and putting him in the position to make those big shots in big moments. He has shot 50 Tech during the regular season, and he has made 10 three-pointers so far this tournament. But he has taken a page out of Steph Curry's cookbook during pregame warm-ups. He is putting up shots ahead of the game, almost near the logo effortlessly. If this trend continues, you want to get your popcorn ready tonight.
I love it, AJ, and he can shoot from anywhere in the gym range. He dropped 40 on Middle Tennessee in the semis. He hit 9 threes the first time his club met Eric Conkle's Bulldogs. Now in his 7th season, can he get Louisiana Tech into the big dance? The second championship appearance for the program, and it's Conference USA time. Tonight's Kubota starting lineups. Be on the lookout for Kobe Williams of Louisiana Tech, the man Eric Conkle calls the engine, a tremendous on-ball defender. And Trey Jemison could be a neutralizing effect to Kenneth Lofton Jr. for UAB, the 7-footer, a career-high 16. The last time these teams met, that was exactly a week ago on Senior Day. Andy Kennedy, now the second-year head coach at his alma mater, has them 1 win away from the NCAA tournament. It would be the second program that he would take on a journey to the tourney. Did the same during his dozen years at Ole Miss.
Yeah, Andy Kennedy did a heck of a job at Ole Miss. I coached against him for several years. Really does a nice job, John, of changing his defenses. We saw that on yesterday. But to start this game, I'm really looking at this matchup between Jemison and Kenneth Lofton Jr. in terms of whether UAB is going to decide to double team or allow Jemison to play Kenneth Lofton Jr. one-on-one, because as Coach Kennedy said, Jemison, when he landed in Dallas, he landed with 1 foul. He's been in foul trouble.
It seemed like he was laying a challenge to his big man, that he hasn't played his best game in this tournament yet. Jemison is immediately matched up with Lofton on that left block. Walker gets a touch, bounce pass, in rhythm, Buffin, banker. And one of the other twists that Andy Kennedy shared with us is they show a bit of pressure here. He was going to script the first 2 or 3 sequences of the game.
Yeah, a lot of obviously football teams script, their first 6 or 7, 8 plays. It's just, whatever makes a coach comfortable. Sometimes you can't script because you may have a young team, but with veteran players, you can script it and they can adjust.
The Xavier Christian 3-point air ball. Walker, this is a matchup against Kobe Williams, the Bulldogs' best on-ball defender. Ball screen Jemison, he goes over the top. Buffin jab step, puts it on the deck. 7 to shoot, the jumper off and locked in the board.
And Kobe Williams is a guy, since he's so outstanding on defense, he really doesn't like the switch much. He wants that challenge of trying to slow down Jordan Walker.
Lofton looking for a touch in the lane, flashes out. Willis from 3, off. Friendly fire, 3 Blazers collide. Jefferson able to corral it.
And trust me, Louisiana Tech, they're not going to be able to have as many scoring droughts against UAB as they had on yesterday against North Texas. And this kid right here, Jordan Walker, as A.J. Ross showed in the pregame, he warms up from that range.
Williams, who hit a number of difficult mid-range jumpers when the Bulldogs needed shots yesterday. Lofton, no double comes. He pulls Jemison in. Oh, kept the pivot and a bucket. He had great success not only this year but last as well. He's gone for 20 and 10 against UAB 3 times in 4 meetings.
Yeah, Lofton Jr., for a guy that's 275 pounds, he's got incredible footwork.
Walker, the rainbow miss. Jemison tip, but a foul trying to get that ball from Lofton.
Yeah, Jelly Walker, that time they switched, and when you switch, you have to switch up the line, not below the line. And here's Lofton, nice move. He's really good at spinning and utilizing those angles. I would dare say not so much like Charles Barkley-like, but close. When Barkley was in college.
You know, the comparison that Eric Conkle has made in the past, he apprenticed under Jim Larinaga at George Mason forever. Jai Lewis, who was on that famed Final Four team in 2006 and later flirted with the NFL. Archibald behind the back dribble move, contested jumper.
Huge play for Archibald. You know, yesterday he was 1 for 8 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. So they're not going to be able to survive with just 2 guys in double figures against UAB.
Hurdle for 3. Off target, Jemison taps it. Well, Christian's got it. Williams in stride. Behind the Lofton screen, feeds Lofton. You like how they use Lofton outside a little bit.
5-out offense.
Willis sticks the jumper.
And see, because you're scared to help off a Lofton on that drive, that's why Coach Conkle talked about utilizing Lofton Jr. in more of a 0.5 position and not just posting him up at all times.
Juan Jackson just inside the arc, a misfire. Williams, the head man. Archibald picks it up and gives it away. Juan Jackson, the man of steel, as dubbed by UAB, his 80th takeaway, and he draws the foul at the other end. Archibald's first.
And when you look at a scouting report, it's not just trying to slow down a guy if he's a driver or run him off the three-point line if he's a shooter. With Quan Jackson, when he's defending you in a closeout situation and you're a passer, you better fake one, make one, because if you don't, he's a steals guy. And you have to know that.
Now, Quan Jackson back-to-back double-doubles in this tournament. This week, he is averaging 18 points, a dozen boards, and 2 steals. And those steals, like this sequence, become offense.
And guess what? He had 4 steals on yesterday against Middle Tennessee.
So here's the most aggressive pressure as they trap Williams. And they beat it fairly quickly.
And you know what I like about UAB? They really don't care that they played triple overtime yesterday. They're coming out pressuring. Like Coach Kennedy said, they can rest tomorrow.
Now he pointed out, while yes, they had to play triple overtime, this is the 4th game for Louisiana Tech. He said, by my math, we're 25 minutes short. Lofton with 3 to shoot, falling away a little short. Juan Jackson nearly turns it over, but settles.
Yeah, that's a win if UAB can force Lofton into that shot.
Baseline J, a little rushed and off for Buffin. Willis playing catch with Archibald. Williams wants it, steps into a 3. Off target, Jemison. Eric Conkle confessed he sees in UAB, oh, what a pass to Jackson from Walker. Exactly that in transition. He akined UAB on offense to what North Texas can do on defense.
Yeah, when you're just ball watching on Walker and it's not man and ball, that's how those back doors can occur. Nice recognition by Walker.
Good up fake, and there's Jemison with a foul, having to play a little softer, right? A 9-8 margin. Now, there was a sequence of trading 3s for 2s when UAB dominated on their senior day a week ago when they met.
And as we saw yesterday, UAB struggles when Jimerson is not in the game, and they have to downside with Buffin at 4 or Ranji Gordon at 5.
Lofton a 3. Off iron. That's not really his game. Walker looks to Andy Kennedy. Walker fresh off 40 in the semifinals. Jefferson backing in, and a foul on Lofton. A 1-point margin at the start.
Yeah, but I like Lofton footwork, spin baseline, just really good awareness here, and now he just goes straight to the jump hook without the pump fake.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Heritage Landscape Supply Group, the fastest growing network of independent landscape supply distributors in the country. By Kubota, together we do more. And by AT&T 5G, fast, reliable, and secure.
The last 4 tournament champions crowned at Conference USA. Your keys today, Coach.
Yeah, for Louisiana Tech ball security in their first game against UAB this year, they had 19 turnovers. They got to slow down UAB in transition. UAB had 27 transition points on yesterday. Threes, please, for UAB. They got to knock down some threes, and then defensively, they must slow down Junior. Kenneth Lofton Jr.
Each team a couple of subs. Walker contested by Green. Snaps Twine with 7 on the time.
We talked to UAB about this and discussed it this morning in our meeting with Coach Kunkel about when are you going to decide to sometime double team Jordan Walker on some of those pick and rolls, because he can make that shot in his sleep.
Oh, Green slips by, slapped down hard, fouled by the soaring KJ Buffett.
So here it is. This is what you call a down screen to get him getting downhill on his right-hand side. Soft pick and roll defense. Hard drive there.
But you believe that occasionally you would try to trap Walker.
More than occasionally, because you got to take your chances and try to force somebody else to beat you. Because if you look at, we talked about threes, please, for UAB, Walker and Ertl takes, what, over 80% of UAB's threes?
Right.
You got to try to force some threes. The other guys to take some three-point shots and close out short, because we know Jordan Walker can beat you single-handedly.
Softer defensive look from Louisiana Tech, and Walker, the team 3. Go ahead and fade back from your soft press. He'll shoot from nearly midcourt.
So what that means is, I can't say when he gets off the bus you got to double team him, because they're here at the hotel. When he leaves out of his room.
Taven Lovin prompts a timeout from Louisiana Tech. An electric surge from the Blazers. They convert quickly and claim the largest early lead in this championship game. Walker from deep. The Blazers on fire. An electric spurt by UAB. The steal and jam for Taven Lovin prompts a Louisiana Tech timeout. What's your feel here, Coach?
Well, I feel like UAB isn't a team that played in a triple overtime game. Looks like Louisiana Tech is a little bit lethargic. They haven't really settled into their defensive strategy to try to slow down Walker.
3 ball off, weak side. Hunter's length had it, and he gets tied up by Walker. Jump ball. Well, the arrow to the Bulldogs. Jelly Walker has been dynamite in this tournament.
Yeah, this is just beyond amazing. You know, he scored, what, a career high against Middle Tennessee this year, 42 points. Now he follows it up with 40. And just the way he makes his free throws. I love kids that just make their free throws.
We have seen a number of records in this year's tournament, including a program record for UAB. Walker converted on all 13 of his free throw tries, including some clutch ones late. They were down 6 with 39 seconds to go in double overtime.
Yeah, because sometimes those free throws are the front ends of 1-and-1s. So, and if you miss it, it's basically like a turnover.
Hunter, the twisted jumper off, ill-timed leap. Weak side by Bradford. UAB's got it. Walker calls for a screen. Oh, and a hard one. That's a moving pick and a foul on Ron G. Gordon.
Yeah, good call.
And Lofton's going to return along with Archibald. And that means Jemison is back for UAB.
And sometimes in situations like that, guards just have to change speeds. You know, go from 5th speed to 4th to 3rd speed, just to give that big guy a chance to get his feet set. So those turnovers are not always on big guys. Sometimes it could be the guard handling the ball. Just slow down a little bit, give him a chance to get in position.
Lofton attacking Jemison. Each has a foul. Nearly slipped, held the pivot, and that shot short.
But you see that time, Lovin came down and helped him late.
And Lofton came up wincing and clutching at his left shoulder. Walker, high kiss, miss. Jemison, aggressive follow, lost it way up. Putback is there. That's where UAB can shine on the offensive glass. And the Blazers are just inside of the top 40 in the country in offensive rebound rate. Lofton individually is an elite defensive rebound. Williams undercut, shot off. Walker tippy-toeing the end line, now streaks up the floor.
Yeah, with Green and Lofton Jr. in the game, they're not giving up that much size against Buffin and Jemison.
Going right at Lofton, and that's going to be a second foul on Kenneth Lofton Jr. Jemison, the resolve to follow through, but a big decision to come for Eric Conkle. You're watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota. UAB doubling up Louisiana Tech, and Jelly Walker nearly matching the Bulldogs by himself.
Yeah, the Conference USA Player of the Year. He's just a playmaker and a heart taker. He just takes your heart, making plays, assists, three-point shots, and if you make a mistake on your pick and roll coverage, especially when he's going right, it's over. His range is when he steps across half court. You got to be up and force him to put the ball on the floor. You cannot give him any space.
So he's been great, but Kenneth Lofton Jr. already has a second foul. He's on the bench for now. What does this mean for the rest of the half?
Yeah, and compared to yesterday, you know, he had 2 fouls the entire game, and now, you know, Coach Kunkel's got to make a decision in terms of, you know, there's a 9-point deficit, could be 10 here. Do you keep him on the bench the rest of the game? I don't think he can afford to sit him the rest of the half. I think, you know, at some point he's going to have to bring him back. And when he's in a bad position, you got to send the double team or maybe switch to a little bit of a 2-3 zone to try to hide him a little bit.
Back end is good for Quan Jackson. It's an 8-0 run for UAB, while the Bulldogs, who began their semifinal cold, have gone freezing cold in this affair. They have missed 7 of 8 from the field. Kobe Williams was their shot maker. When they fell into droughts in the semifinals, he got isolated or used the screen game and did that. And the jumper here is off, and Jemison the easy rebound.
Yeah, but you just see UAB they're playing with a different speed. Speed to loose balls, speed, you know, with their execution and their spacing in the half court. Just playing with a lot of a sense of urgency here.
Walker flying to the ball. Corner triple. Off target, weak side, just a couple of Blazers.
But again, 50-50 ball, loose ball. They had 3 guys close near that ball compared to 0 from Louisiana Tech.
Hang and miss for Lovin. Here comes Kobe Williams on a tear. Green alongside. Kicks corner. Willis loads for 3. In and out. And the loose ball not free to Lovin. There is such a calmness and swagger for Walker, and all Lofton can do is watch. And that pass goes out of bounds. Lovin cut. Make sure to tune in to the 2022 Reese's College All-Star Game presented by Walmart, April 1st, live, 4:30 Eastern, right here on CBS Sports Network.
John, you want to know a secret?
Yes.
When we read that Reese's promo, I have flashbacks.
You a little hungry?
Yeah, I get a little hungry. How many calories are in that Reese's?
Not nearly enough. Aggressive drive going right at Jemison. That's going to be 2 fouls on UAB's best and biggest big.
Smart move by Kobe Williams. He said, our big guy is in foul trouble. Let's get your big guy in foul trouble with 2 fouls.
So Amari Archibald to the line. Now Archibald in the first matchup of the regular season had 27 points. He knocked down a career-high 7 threes. Eric Conkle told us today it was Archibald that kept his team in that game. They were down big in the early stage. Jemison, this is his issue in this tournament, as Coach Kennedy had talked about, just 22.5 minutes a game due to foul concern.
And they desperately need him, especially if Lofton Jr. comes back in the game. The difference between UAB and Louisiana Tech, when Jemison gets in foul trouble, they really downsize, because now, you know, you're coming in with Ronji Gordon, who's 6'8", compared to Louisiana Tech. Kenny Hunter is 6'10", 6'11". They don't lose as much length. They lose some pounds.
On the floor here, Michael Ertl with the handle. He only sat for 41 seconds in the triple overtime semifinal.
Yeah, 54+ minutes.
Out of the corner, Buffin, rainbow air ball, tracked down by Quan Jackson, 5 to shoot. Jackson doesn't realize the time. Ertl, 2 to shoot, falling away. Off iron, tapped out of bounds. And UAB ball.
And you see UAB is a little bit discombobulated with Jelly Walker on the bench, because now, you know, where do we go for offense? You can go to Ertl, but you know, he's got to be able to create his own shot. He's more of a 3-point marksman when Walker's in the game, creating wide open looks for him.
Among the subs, here's Tony with the ball, who was basically used to get fouls in that triple overtime game. Only plays about 8 minutes per on the year. Quan Jackson hangs and hits. That's a tough shot.
Quan Jackson just has a motor. He just looks like he's an Energizer bunny. He never gets tired. Tip-top shape. Competitor, just never quits on plays. He would be a good free safety in another sport. In this
certainly see that. Kobe Williams playing QB1. He snaps a 6-minute field goal drought for Louisiana Tech. Now Jordan Walker is ready to sub back in. He's got 8 points to lead the game. Ertl shaping up, gets fed. Defended by Willis. Drives. Flat shot, rolls down. That's a shooter's touch.
Yeah, an interesting thing Coach Kennedy said. He said, you know, obviously he's glad that they won the game, but he said if they were unsuccessful, he said by the time they got back to campus in Birmingham, Ertl would be in the gym. He just loves to play. He's just extremely hard worker.
Great up fake by Archibald. Surrounded by Blazers.
And 2 things for Louisiana Tech. If they want to stay in this game and have a chance to win, you got an offensive rebound, and you got to make some threes. We talked about threes for UAB, but Tech has to make some threes.
Quan Jackson attacking Kobe Williams, draws a foul. UAB has seen its lead slip to 7. Will we see Junior return on the bench with 2 fouls? The winner is on to the NCAA tournament. You're watching the Heritage Landscape Supply Group Conference USA Championship. UAB has a 7-point lead, 7:50 to go in the first half. We have some sensational nicknames on display in this game, and for their genesis, let's welcome in A.J. Ross.
Well, John, we have mentioned Jelly Walker a lot this game, and that Jelly nickname comes from a New York City basketball community started in 2012 by former Minnesota and Iona standout Isaiah Washington. Jordan's a part of that group, and their signature is actually the finger roll. They might have to morph that now because of this Jelly hitting so many shots beyond the arc. As for Kenneth Lofton Jr. and the junior nickname, that's more straightforward. He is named after his father, guys.
Appreciate that. And Jelly, part of the brand for Jelly Walker. 100,000 Instagram followers. He has seen a giant spike in the social media awareness with his play in this tournament.
Yeah, Coach Kennedy was talking about probably had over 1 million mentions, and his name is going to continue to be mentioned with this type of offensive show that he's putting on in the first half here against Louisiana Tech.
That's his third triple. He's got 11. Could he go for 40 in back-to-back games? Archibald strong with the right hand. But this is part of the troublesome math when they met in the regular season, Coach. You trade twos for threes, it's not going to work out.
Yes, and you got to find an answer for Walker here.
Juan Jackson, indecisive, caught the ball underneath. Walker screaming for it. Always thinking about it at the logo. Ball screen comes on a switch. He's got the big and Hunter through the double, gives it away, and a foul.
Now, two consecutive possessions. Jordan Walker was trapped. He was trapped at half court. They couldn't finish the paint. UAB, he was trapped in the corner. But this all was the result of them getting the ball out of Walker's hands.
Now that foul goes to Ronji Gordon. He's got 2. Trey Jemison has 2. What does that mean for UAB?
Yeah, then that means Buffin will have to move over to the 5 spot. If they decided to keep Gordon in the game, probably thinking that, he can stay in foul trouble a little bit more than obviously Jemison.
Green on high. Blanks that one, UAB ball. Walker pulls up over Archibald, and he gets fouled. It'll be 3 free throws for Walker.
Foul charge to number 3, Amari Archibald.
That's the second on Amari Archibald.
And Walker's saying, hey, if you're going to disrespect me and drop back and you don't pick me up sooner, it's lights out.
And Walker's just about automatic at the line. He is third in Conference USA, 87%. He was perfect on 13 tries in the semi, the program single game record without a miss. So a slew of subs, 3 jogged to the table for Louisiana Tech, including freshman Caleb Stewart, who only plays about 10 minutes a game due to foul concern. He's being thrust in much earlier than usual.
And there's going to get to a point in this half where if Coach Kunkel doesn't bring Kenneth Lofton Jr. back, then we realize that he's going to sit in for the entire half.
Well, here's UAB's largest lead, Derek Kunkel's most significant deficit. They need points.
And when you're playing against a team that's leading Conference USA in scoring with 80 points a game, we know UAB can fill it up.
And now Kobe Williams gets hit in the act of a triple and gets a foul on Jordan Walker, his first.
Yeah, Walker tried to go under that pick and roll. Then he got to a point of no return and decided that he would have to fight over and unfortunately fouled a three-point shooter.
Williams just outside the top 10 in the league, 76%. Converts on the first. He is named after Kobe Bryant. The 24 is intentional in honor of Kobe Bryant. Eric Kunkel calls him the engine. And he called his turnaround key when he went from a 7.5 point per game player in non-league action, doubled that scoring in conference play, and grossly jacked up his outside shooting. When he became that undersized 4 that could hit a 3, the Bulldogs became more dangerous.
Different team, you can spread the floor and also have another ball handler. When you got guys, multiple guys that you can go to handle the ball, that can all pass, dribble, and shoot, it's harder to try to minimize your success offensively because you have so many different outlets.
There's the steal for Kobe Williams. Right at the rim, bucket. You called it.
You got to take your chances. If Louisiana Tech is not successful in this game for some reason, it can't be because you allow Jordan Walker to just go one-on-one consistently.
Walker defended by Williams, out of bounds. And now there's disagreement about possession here. They're going to say Bulldog ball.
Nice job here on this trap with both of those guys. They get the steal, and off we go.
We're going to have bonus free throws. They call a foul on Taven Lovin. That's going to be his first.
At the line, Xavier Christian. He's given 21.
Watch number 3, weak side there, Lovin the foul.
And it's good that the referees are not bailing offensive players out with that type of a move. I remember when that foul was called, I used to ask the referees, well, what do you want me to teach my players in practice on how to defend that? Give me a clarification, please.
Xavier Christian, 79% shooter, converts both in the 1-and-1, so a big swing. Yeah, Williams fouled, gets the steal, gets the transition bucket, and now the bonus free throws. It goes from 11 down to 5. That's 6 points in 36 seconds of game action. Quan Jackson. That was altered by Hunter, but weak side. Lovin draws the foul.
And whenever your defense gets broken down like that on that drive, you have to get your smaller guys back, cracking back, helping on the boards. Nice job by Lovin.
Foul to LaDavian Bradford, his first. How about this oddity, free throws pending? With Lofton out, Louisiana Tech has outscored UAB 15-11, make it 15-12.
And see, with a guy like Lovin, you know, how do you get into this game what you do best? He's a 14% three-point shooter, so he's not shooting it very well from 3. But how can he have an effect on his game? Defending and offensive rebounding and slashing to the basket instead of trying to play the same role that Jordan Walker's.
Kobe Williams against Walker. Shakes him, snaps it opposite. Bradford, open 3, Lovin it falling down. Air ball, UAB ball. Walker finds Lovin. Right into the paint. Changes hands and finishes.
And that's what UAB, I think they're one of the best teams in the country at what we're calling the advanced pass, or the pass ahead area back in the backcourt. They really do a good job.
There's Lovin doing exactly what you're talking about, getting the turnover, and that brings about a foul that's going to be number 2 on Bradford. So now Bradford, Archibald, and Lofton Jr. all have 2 fouls for Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, and it looked like Louisiana Tech had a little bit of momentum there, but a turnover, bad foul. There's so many different cycles of a game.
Check in, Houston Willis.
Willis subs back in, Lovin to the line. Only a 59% free throw shooter. UAB trying to snap the longest NCAA tournament drought in program history. They haven't been since 2015. Louisiana Tech trying to snap one of the longest in America of a program that's been to the big dance. They haven't gone since 1991, 31 years ago.
Lovin really had a huge impact on the game on yesterday against Middle Tennessee, 34 minutes. I like the plus-minus stat. He was a plus 13.
Foul concern in this game. What stands out to you?
Oh, definitely Lofton Jr. Louisiana Tech basically making a decision that they're going to sit in for the rest of the half.
Christian forces a pass. Tipped out of bounds. The only man there was Hunter with 3 Blazers.
Yeah, no surprise Jimerson's in foul trouble. But in that situation, that's kind of what we call faking yourself covered. If you're open, it's better to just shoot that shot, because coach can't create a more wide open shot for you.
Caleb Stewart, Kobe Williams, 7 to shoot. Ertl, not a great on-ball defender, screened by Hunter. 3 to shoot, Williams forced to shoot, in and out. And the rebound, Buffin gets undercut and fouled, looking for the loose ball.
Buffin went up extremely high to get this ball, this rebound. It's a power rebound. over 6'10".
So the foul went to Kenny Hunter, and Eric Conkle has seen enough. Down 10 with 2 fouls. The freshman, Kenneth Lofton Jr., is back into the game. Your thoughts?
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise, especially at the 4-minute mark. But again, a lot of times coaches, because of their wide array of experiences, I don't think there's a perfect answer. You know, if Lofton gets a 3rd foul, then it's probably, well, we should have sat him the entire half. If he comes out and helps Tech go on a 8-2 run, great decision.
Now, we had asked those associated with Louisiana Tech what's been Eric Conkle's norm during the year. They told us when one of their stars, someone like Lofton, gets 2 fouls, sits for a long stretch, but all year he has often put that man back in late stage first half, depending upon game situation. In transition, 3-ball miss for Archibald. Rebound, Willis in rhythm. Hits heel. Walker weaving down the floor. How does he do it?
He pulled that one out of his trick bag. And see, that's a situation when you got a young man like Jordan Walker. He's not just a drill guy before practice. He's a one-on-one player. So many times, you know, kids want to have shooting drills. He's the type of kid that loves to play one-on-one, and you can tell by moves like that.
Here comes Walker again and gets hit hard by Williams. And he is grimacing on the ground. Walker with a slight limp. Williams has his first foul.
John, he is a walking bucket, and you better respect not on his right hand, but his scoop left hand.
UAB has its largest lead of the game. Kobe Williams has his 2nd foul, called a flagrant 1 while we were away.
Yeah, this was excessive forearm shiver. That's not a defensive legal play.
Avoidable, unnecessary contact or hooking, pushing, holding a player from behind to prevent a score. It's 2 shots and the ball to UAB.
And you know what I love about the rule, and you and I agreed on this, it's unnecessary.
Yep.
It's not a basketball play.
Let's check in with A.J. Ross.
Well, John, I can tell you that flagrant foul really recharged that UAB bench during the timeout. Jelly was talking about, you know, it hurt, but he's playing with a big heart. He's a little guy with a big heart. He's going back out there, but there was a lot of chatter. There's this talk about this team being kind of a dysfunctional family, so some guys were really riled up by that. Other guys trying to calm the other guys down. They are back in this game for sure.
Appreciate that, and Walker converts on the first. He has 15 points. It's now a 9-0 UAB run since the Bulldogs had sliced it to 5.
And Kobe Williams also has another foul, so he's got 2 fouls.
And that's going to be some tough math for Eric Conkle. Kobe Williams, Kenneth Lofton Jr., Amari Archibald, LaDamian Bradford all have 2 fouls. And 3 of them are on the floor.
Boy, it seems like this game is flying by since we called that triple overtime game yesterday.
Raji Gordon playing with 2 fouls for UAB.
Another lefty.
Spins on Lofton. Down.
And I just love when players, you know, he didn't go to the Hakeem Olajuwon fadeaway. He went to his bread and butter, his go-to move. You only need 2 moves. Your go-to move and a counter, especially during this time of the year.
Lofton Jr. spinning on that pivot. Short. Loose ball, tumbles, able to pass it out first. Kobe Williams against Ertl. Goes over a screen. Archibald fake right, look left. On high, 3-ball. Short for Willis.
Willis just doesn't look like the same player. Yesterday was 4 for 8 from the 3-point line. Hit a couple of huge threes.
UAB 12 unanswered. Leading scoring team in Conference USA, Quan Jackson.
You see, Louisiana Tech brought the double team because they're trying to protect Lofton Jr. and the rotation didn't get there in time.
Does Louisiana Tech need a timeout?
Well, I think when they brought Lofton back in the game, they were trying to make a concerted effort to get him the ball. And now that's what they need to do, go other places, because right now, even if you get Lofton Jr. the ball, Kent Lofton Jr., there's a possibility when he misses, just like on that last possession, he can potentially get a loose ball foul and get his third foul. With a minute now, 32 to go in the half.
Gordon falling away. Misfire, Lofton. Kobe Williams would come up touching at his right eye after that triple. Right down the lane. He is from Dallas. Grew up just a half hour away from this arena.
Yeah, outstanding move. He turned on the Jets. He just went to another gear at half court.
(43-29), UAB leads Louisiana Tech. Coming up, AT&T at the half. Adam Zucker, Wally Zerbiak, Chris Walker, John Rothstein, Jerry Palm standing by. They'll get you caught up in all the latest conference tournament news and highlights as we inch closer to tomorrow's selection show. Head your way, AT&T at the half.
You know the quote, laughter is good for the soul.
Of course.
I'm going to tell you something that's pretty funny that our fine research analysts shared with us. UAB has 43 points today. Louisiana Tech only had 42 on yesterday.
And they won that game, the lowest scoring game in Division I on the year. But they need their offense today. And you saw the numbers from Walker, who has been outstanding again. He feels like a young man that could really shine in the big dance.
Yep.
Gets it away here. Willis against Ertl. Bucket.
And that's what you love about Louisiana Tech. They said, Coach Avery, this is no laughing matter. We're down by double digits. We were down by 14. We're going to turn up the heat on our defense and get out in transition. Coach Kunkel talked about their team that never gives up.
7 unanswered in just over a minute. Here's Lofton showing double. Got a 12-second differential. Ole defense and the missed wide open shot for Ranji Gordon. UAB ball.
Louisiana Tech is probably trapped Jelly Walker more than most of the teams in Conference USA combined in this one half, and it's been pretty successful.
Gordon to Ertl, 6 to shoot, a shooter. Walker closed out by Williams, 3 to shoot. Ertl releases, misses, rebound UAB. Quan Jackson out of bounds. Blazer ball, timer off.
And that's always the concern. You lose one more guy on the board when you are trapping him, but you got to take your chances.
Katie Kennedy calls the play. Quan Jackson calls the break, fronted by Archibald. Ertl rejected away. Kobe Williams, 6 seconds.
2-on-1.
Williams to Lofton, two-hand jam.
The big fella.
A 9-0 run to close the half as the Bulldogs draw back with intent.
The big fella say, Kobe Williams, you may have a 44-inch vertical, but I can get up too. It's going to be pretty interesting to see how this is going to energize Louisiana Tech, especially coming out of halftime. Nice, unselfish pass by Kobe Williams, and the big fella said, I can play off of a trampoline.
Let's check in with AJ.
Yeah, Coach Andy Kennedy, you guys were on a 14-0 run, then things got really physical. LA Tech heating up on the defensive end. How do you get some more separation on this one?
Well, we had the game right where we wanted it, and then turnovers led to fast break opportunities. La Tech's going to make layups. They made 3 of them down the stretch. We're trying to be aggressive, put pressure on the paint, can't get the call, and then all of a sudden we're playing in an unbalanced floor.
Jelly Walker, what does this say about him and his performance?
Well, he makes shots, but he can't throw it to the other team. I mean, I know TV likes it when he makes them, but we cannot throw it to the other team.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate that, AJ. As many giveaways as made buckets for Walker. Rebounding owned by the Blazers. Halftime in Frisco. After the break, it's Adam and the gang in New York. You're watching Bracket Week on CBS Sports Network, presented by Kubota. You're watching the Heritage Landscape Supply Group Conference USA Championship. 43-33 UAB leads Louisiana Tech. Take a look at some of the numbers from the first, rebounding a huge difference in the Blazers' favor.
Yeah, when you look at the rebounds, that speaks to your effort and your energy, and no rebounds, no win. That's a big point of emphasis for UAB.
Bench points plus 10. Fouls a concern for the Bulldogs in the first. John Sadak, NBA Coach of the Year and champion, and Avery Johnson. What were your takeaways from that first half?
Well, for UAB, they're playing with a lot of passion. They understand the strengths of their personnel. But for Louisiana Tech, they improved their effort at the end of the first half, but they're going to have to play more consistent basketball on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, we saw Jelly Walker jump out of the gate, the subject of our Step Up, brought to you by Werner Ladder.
Yeah, Jelly Walker, his range is when he steps on the court. When he gets up in the morning, he's in range. And the degree of difficulty from some of his shots are just so impressive. But then Louisiana Tech turned up the defense. Kobe Williams started impacting the game with steals, and that kept Louisiana Tech within, that 10-point margin.
See the Werner Ladder making a bit of a premature appearance. They'll be cutting the nets later. The rim was slightly off tilt. And apparently Eric Conkle's being told about it. Andy Kennedy as well, trying to repair that iron.
I wish the rim was bent a little bit more when I played in the game, because I always dreamed about dunking in the game.
Yes.
And it never happened.
Not once.
Not once.
I can see the takeoff right now. I can see the launch, the sink, and that smile.
It's funny, Coach Kennedy was talking about his triple overtime going to affect Ertl. He said, no, it's not going to affect Ertl. He's not very athletic anyway.
For more on what Eric Conkle had to say, let's check in with AJ.
Yeah, Coach Conkle told me although Louisiana Tech's defense created some offense for them down the stretch of that first half, he said they played too passive and they were reckless. They have to be more consistent. And as far as Junior's foul trouble going forward, he wants Junior to play smart. But if he does pick up another one, they're not taking him out of this one because there is too much on the line, guys.
There is no tomorrow, as Rocky had to be reminded once.
Yeah, but look at the double team can come from a variety of places, but look at Buffin comes from the weak side, low position. Sometimes that's smart when you're going to double team a big guy to bring your other big guy, because sometimes with smaller guards like an Ertl or even a Jelly Walker, you can still split those double teams.
Lofton, the double. They slough it away. Lofton showed off the moves. His footwork, his hands, for his size, he is so nimble and agile.
But you got to really have terrific hands to make that one-handed off-balance jump.
Juan Jackson off the tip there for Jemison. It was a hard screen. Archibald taken out. Now, part of the reality of this game, there is so much weight for each team. You need to win this game to get in. Lofton knows it. Walker knows it. UAB's had a fine season, had some really big non-league wins, but the reality is, you lose this game, you're not going dancing. You win this game, and you could live forever in March lore. Offensive foul, Quan Jackson.
Yeah, and a couple of breakdowns here on that last drive by Lofton Jr. You have to shade his left-handed side and force him to go right. And nice play here by Archibald by getting in a legal guarding, defensive guarding position. Love it.
Kobe Williams, and now a different defense from UAB.
UAB basically took over this game yesterday with that 1-3-1 press, really slowed down Middle Tennessee.
Oddly enough, it came from the former Middle Tennessee head man, Kermit Davis. Lofton, right at Jemison, out of bounds. Blazer ball.
Boy, excellent defense by Jemison. Looked like he came up a little. Both of the big guys bang knees. This is a physical contest inside. Nice job playing defense without fouling. Not going for any Lofton Jr. pump fakes in that situation.
Jemison came up clutching at his right knee. He rolled that wrap up above his knee. A noticeable limp as he continued to grimace up the floor. Erdl for three. He may not be the most athletic, but he can drill a triple.
Yeah, he can shoot the ball. Here goes that man right here.
Quan Jackson right into Kobe Williams, gives it away. Power play, it's a 5-on-3. Williams wide open. Off target, Lofton. Opposite off the up fake. Williams again, short. Lofton again, put back.
The big fella he's going to work now. And the beauty of it, in the first half, since he got in foul trouble, he's got to basically play the entire half unless he gets a couple of fouls, which they're saying if he gets the third one, they're not going to take him out. He's really playing with a tremendous amount of energy now. Maybe that rest in the first half helped him.
Buffin, aggressive cut, offensive foul.
What did we talk about in the pregame? Kenneth Lofton Jr. plays with a lot of passion, competitive spirit. This is what you do when your best player on the team sacrifice your body for the team.
Jemison continues to win. Buffin just asked him up the floor, are you okay? And he dismissed him. He does not look right.
I still believe Keyston Willis, he's going to have to make a three-point shot. He's got to make a three.
Lofton has it knocked free on the double. Bulldog ball 13 to shoot. And a sub for UAB. Ron G. Gordon is in. And there goes Jemison. Watch the right knee.
It looked like it's more the kind of right thigh.
You're right, now he's on the bench area, doubled over, clutching. Christian misses, Quan Jackson, the soaring rebound. Screen game against Lofton, a foul. That's gonna be three.
Number 2,
you would hope in a situation that you don't have some sort of thigh contusion or a strained knee in that situation.
Third foul on Lofton, he subs out. Not happy about it. So Hunter among the subs in.
And coach is probably thinking here, we've got the next 28 seconds, got a timeout coming.
Buffin against David Green. Mid lane. Sinks it.
Here's the 1-3-1 half-court trap again.
How do you beat this?
The first thing you got to do is screen the top man. A lot of times if you're just passing the ball back and forth, it takes up too much time. Screen the top man and get your guards downhill.
Williams gives it away. Walker nearly reciprocates, circles out. Walker v. Williams.
A nice job by Walker. Coach Kennedy talked about pass the ball to the other teams, but that time he passed the ball to his teammate Erdl. Walker had 4 turnovers in the first half. Smart decision. You get in transition, you settle your team now, quarterback the team, and you know where your sharpshooters are, and he can depend on Erdl. Nice job by Walker.
Watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota. 53-39 UAB. Kenneth Lofton Jr. It's been up and down.
Yeah, and he got rejuvenated, especially at the end of the first half transition. He's just got an outstanding post-up game. Really above, significantly a terrific offensive rebounder. But that third foul, you got to really jump out there earlier, especially when Jordan Walker is near the sideline. The sideline can be another defender. But if you're late on your pick and roll coverage, Jelly Walker's going to make you pay.
Co-leads the team with a dozen.
Alley-oop!
And no finish there for David Green, UAB ball.
Yeah, and you were asking me, how do you attack the 1-3-1? Screen the middle, the top guy, try to get the ball to corner threes, but also weak side lobs by screening the backside defender.
Lofton to the table. He's ready to sub back in with 3 fouls. Walker a game-high 18 points. Time ticks, 1-on-1. 3-ball again. Short. Underneath, Buffin hammered. He'll go to the line. will step aside. The Blazers own the glass and a large lead with a championship on the line.
In this situation, this is a defensive breakdown, and right here, Archibald out of position, loses his man, and he loses the sharpshooter in Erdl. That's a defensive breakdown. He should have been in more of a denied position when you're one pass away. That confusion, you can't get lost and discombobulated when you have a guy like Erdl that's capable of knocking down threes in his sleep.
We saw Trey Jemison in gross discomfort. Let's check in with AJ.
That's right, John. Trey Jemison came off the floor grabbing his right knee. He subbed back in during the break, but for the past couple minutes, a trainer was tending to that knee on the floor, gauging his degree of pain. And guys, he is in pain, but he's powering through this. He was running along the sideline, getting it massaged a bit, and he wanted to go back out there and leave it all on the floor tonight, guys.
Appreciate that. So 1 of 2 at the line. Lofton is back in with 3 fouls, but 6 unanswered with Lofton off the floor.
And we saw it yesterday how this 1-3-1 neutralized Dishman from Middle Tennessee. They were unsuccessful at getting him the ball inside.
Willis looks to Lofton, that short corner. Driving on Buffin, hangs, tough shot. Now he is a lefty, but that's a tough look.
Basically behind the basket. Unfortunately, he is a lefty on that side of the basket when he get caught behind it.
Walker across, he's gone quiet for a bit. Gets fed, beats Williams off the bounce, wraparound look, and it squirts free. Green to Kobe Williams. Blocking foul on Erdl.
Yeah, got away with one. Archibald was open on the right side. Boy, Archibald was wide open for a 3. When you're on a break in those situations, you got to have what we have called panoramic vision. You can't just isolate to one side of the floor. You got to really look. Head's got to be on the swivel.
Quan Jackson back in for the Blazers. Lofton, who passes so well, shovels to Archibald. Louisiana Tech has toiled from deep. Willis on high. They are 2 for 20 from 3.
Yeah, and his threes, you know, sometimes when you miss a 3, it goes in and out. His are wide right or wide left. Unfortunately for Willis, I still believe he's got to make 1 or 2 for Tech to have an opportunity. You see Kenneth Lofton Jr., that's leadership. He's trying to encourage him to hang in there.
Willis reached 1,000 points against UAB back in January. He's got the 2nd most made triples in a season in program history. Lofton eyeballs him and feeds him. The shooter uncorks and misses again. And Quan Jackson the rebound. Louisiana Tech is playing its 4th game in 4 days, trying to become the 6th team to win a championship in that fashion in Conference USA, much like last year's winner, North Texas.
Not just win the conference championship, but make it to the tournament and advance.
Erdl connects on a 3. Timeout, Louisiana Tech. Erdl's got 11, and UAB is in cruise control at this point.
It's amazing the route that Archibald tried to take on that play. You can't try to shoot the gap or fight over the top. You got to stay with Erdl's body in that situation. 3-point shooting is a big part of this game. The misses from Louisiana Tech, and their go-to 3-point shooter. Williams has made, 2 in this game, but the makes from now Erdl. It was Walker early in the game, and now Erdl's picking up the slack.
And for Willis, he is 0 for 7 from outside. Young man who became a starter when Louisiana Tech lost one of its best, Isaiah Crawford, to a knee injury in mid-November. He's drilled as many as 7 threes in a game twice. But a sluggish start here today when they particularly need him against this funky defense. against Jamison Lofton. Reset the big man. Trying to up and under. Knifes through with a purposeful tap by Green.
And that's a nice job by Lofton. He's tried to make the right plays, the unselfish play, but sometimes you got to read your teammates and read the game. You know, you can continue to go to your teammates, but sometimes you got to split double teams and say, well, they're not having their best night. Let me try to get them some wide open shots by dominating the post.
Walker calls for the screen from Buffin. Feed the screener. Steamrolls Williams. Offensive foul. That'll be number 3 on KJ Buffin.
In this situation, Buffin, he knew it exactly when he made this turnover. As soon as he caught this ball, I know Coach Kennedy works on this every day. Play off 2 feet, come to a jump stop before you make that move. Erdl, who just knocked down a 3 or 2, is wide open in the corner.
Perimeter passing 4 out. On the drive, Bradford. Williams screaming for it opposite wing. 9 on the timer. Willis snaps to Williams. 5 to shoot. 1-on-1 against Buffin. In! As the shot clock horn arrived, that's only the 3rd make in 22 tries from deep for Louisiana Tech.
Boy, there's something about these rims. We had one of those on yesterday.
Jamison wants it.
That was one of the things UAB was really concerned about. Louisiana Tech getting hot from the 3-point line.
Buffin in no man's land, turned over by Green.
Excellent defense by Green.
Out of the corner, hits heel. And a foul on the floor in pursuit of the loose ball.
Yeah, Louisiana Tech, they're staying in it. And the way they can stay in it, this little Steph Curry shimmy 3 in the lucky roll.
The preseason favorites in Conference USA collide. UAB the lead over Louisiana Tech. The winner is on to the big dance. Still to come, bracket week continues tomorrow, noon Eastern. Women's hoops tournament action. Bucknell American, the Patriot League final. See who comes out on top for a chance at the big dance. Jason Knapp, Julianne Biani will have the call here on CBS Sports Network. Kenneth Lofton Jr. and the Bulldogs. That program hasn't been to the NCAA tournament in 31 years.
When you think about UAB's team, you know, we want to think about them in terms of their offense, but this team is a balanced team. They're very good offensively and defensively. They're ranked number 1 in defensive field goal percentage.
Count that bucket. The Bradford drive, Jemison made contact.
And even though Jemerson was a little bit late, UAB is 3rd in the conference in block shots. So they block shots. They block quite a few of Louisiana Tech's shots. That's one of the things Coach Kunkel was concerned about in game 2.
Time ticks. 10-second violation. No, or timeout first. 10-second violation. They tried to get the timeout. They couldn't get it over the timeline.
Excellent call.
Now Erdl is saying, I call timeout. I call timeout.
In that situation, Quan Jackson was trying to do too much. Could have gotten fouled there.
Does this swing things? Remember the triple right before the timeout of the floor, shooting at the iron that was bent and needed to be fixed before the second half began. Lofton, showcase of moves, hits heel. He got poked in the eye, put back, off iron, a foul, and Bradford to the line.
Yeah, Lofton got poked in the left eye in that situation. Right eye, I'm sorry.
At the line, LaDamian Bradford.
Well, the foul to Ranji Gordon. his third. Bradford at the stripe for 2, where he has struggled 57% with only 28 tries on the year. Now, to your point about UAB, in non-league, they tried to schedule up. They lost by 3 at South Carolina. They lost by 2 to a probable tournament team at San Francisco on a neutral floor. They won at St. Louis. They lost by 6 to West Virginia. They are a darn good team that many would not want to see in the NCAA tournament.
They're deep, experience, and they have a player on their team in Jordan Walker, Jellyman, that can just dominate a game and go for 40 or 50.
Buffett double, trapped. The pressure mounting, foul here.
Now, Louisiana Tech has extended their defense. I think their traps, whether it's been on Jelly Walker or here on Buffin, the traps have been very impressive in this game.
Foul to Green, his first, team's third. Remember, the Bulldogs will have bonus on the next UAB foul. Walker, 5 seconds gone. Ertl, jump gift to Buffin. Walker wants it. Ertl shaping up. Midway point of the second.
Now they're looking for Jordan Walker to come off screens on the baseline.
Buffin 5 to shoot, twisting to the rim and
1! This type of action is something that UAB, this is their counter when teams try to switch out and deny Walker from coming off those baseline screens. They're taught and programmed to punch it right inside.
Buffin at the line, he's got 8 and 4. Archibald is back for Louisiana Tech. Bradford subs out.
And with Jimerson, being hobbled, that's a really good strategy to go to Buffin inside. This guy's an experienced player, coached against him when he was at Ole Miss. He knows what he's doing.
Kobe Williams, who hails from Dallas, the no-look Archibald. They play catch. Alley-oop and great backdoor! The Duncan Dogs deliver.
Excellent pass by Kobe Williams. Green missed that, you remember earlier.
And they couldn't get it in! A 5-second violation! The defense spiking for Louisiana Tech. 7th turnover of the stanza.
2-3 zone by UAB.
That's a really high zone, too. Lofton mid-post, a little deep, slapped that to Archibald, 8 to shoot. Kobe Williams. Ertl gives little ground, 3 to shoot. Williams, one-handed off iron, weak side, Green, put back, rattles away. Lofton, and a jump ball. Eric Conkle can't believe it because they hit iron. The timer sounded, and I think he believes led to player confusion.
Yeah, and give Louisiana Tech credit, man. They're just playing nice defense here, denying the ball inside. Ertl struggling to get the ball in. And now, big fella Lofton Jr. is on the boards, but we got to give David Green credit. He's impacting this game. Look at him.
And a violation on the end line. Ertl stepped over. Jemison, by the way, is back for UAB. Bulldogs have the ball. That's 4 turnovers in 5 possessions.
In the first game in Conference USA for UAB, remember they had that huge 17-point lead against Florida Atlantic, and then they basically started playing like the Harlem Globetrotters. Ertl and Jackson had 11 turnovers in that game.
Out of the corner. That was altered. I think Buffin got a piece of that. Walker up the floor. Ertl wants it on the wing. Walker picks it up. Ertl. Walker slams down to the deck.
Yeah, Lewis has to understand, when you're struggling from 3, teams still believe you're a 3-point shooter. Sometimes you got a shot fake, put the ball on the floor.
Walker shot fake. That got Williams in the air. and he snaps twine once more. Timeout, UAB.
It is, boy, it's amazing what can happen with just a little spice in your life. And Jordan Walker put some spice on that pump fake. Defensive mistake, shot fake, cash out.
UAB by a dozen, the Conference USA Championship. Tomorrow, 5 Eastern, the toughest sport on dirt makes its way to Glendale, Arizona, the U.S. Border Patrol Invitational. Catch PBR Unleash the Beast here on CBS Sports Network. UAB's Jordan Walker changes things with his presence.
Yeah, it's just a decoy here. He was like the bait. And Louisiana Tech went for the bait. And then when you don't have great communication, sometimes teams act like they want to text on the court. You cannot text in basketball. You have to communicate loud and especially know where the best player in the conference is at all times.
Now, one of the oddities, though, Coach, that made triple right before the called UAB timeout. That was the first field goal make for Walker in almost 15 and a half minutes of game time.
And that's because Ertl got going a little bit more and buffing inside. And that's why they're more of a complete team. It's not just Jordan Walker. You have other guys that can score in different ways.
Lofton looks. Willis, a great shooter who's had a rough day. He is due in so many ways. Lofton against Jemison, playing on a bum wheel. Double comes opposite Williams. On high, Archibald. On the drive, down the lane, he's fouled. That'll be Buffin's fourth.
And Lofton is such an improved passer. Archibald, nice drive.
Amari Archibald is playing at his program record 156th game. His record 140th start was made today. He arrived in 2017 as a 17-year-old freshman, had never played a full season of basketball, and he's going to leave having played the most minutes, most games, most starts of anyone in the history of the program.
And A.J. Ross talked about Jordan Jelly Walker. Where did he get his name Jelly? I wonder what's Archibald's nickname.
That's a good one.
I bet you A.J. would know.
Yeah. Second one off the front lip.
From what we heard, it's Pookie.
A sub, Buffin out. We saw Lovin in. Buffin a fourth foul. Jemison nearly turns it over. Lofton took a tumble and a 3-second violation. That goes against Jemison. And Walker just had some kind of word for his head coach, Andy Kennedy. He subtly spoke into his ear on the sideline.
It's pretty animated sometimes how Jordan Walker and Coach Kennedy communicates with one another.
Two elite scorers. Of course, Andy Kennedy, the second leading scorer in UAB history. Lofton against Jemison, staying tall, and Lofton finishes. And Eric Conkle says pressure. Jemison showing screen, slips back, Walker. Now the screen from Jemison, he cuts, double comes.
You see the jump out early in that situation.
Williams tips it out of bounds, 13 to shoot.
In the first half, Kenneth Lofton Jr. was late, picked up a foul. He was early on that in that situation. So here it is. This is what you call a pre-trap. He's not waiting for Jelly Walker to use the screen.
Ertl right to the top of the arc. He likes to live in the corner. That baseline, tough too.
And when you have players that can get their own shots, especially at the end of a shot clock, it makes your offense much more seamless.
Lofton, what a pass. Green couldn't handle. Off UAB out of bounds, 20 on the timer.
I wouldn't call Ertl cocky. I would call him very, very confident and sure about his abilities.
Young man who has scored over 2,000 career collegiate points. UAB has 6 active 1,000-point scorers, the most in America. Green, the up and under, not there. Bad pass. Jackson tipped it to Willis, so he's allowed to go backcourt. 5 to shoot, no possession exchange. Willis, point blank. Quan Jackson to Ertl. Green's harassing pressure has been dynamite. Jackson shakes Willis on help. Archibald trying to knock it free. Jamison fouled on the way up. That'll be 4 on Lofton.
Yeah, and because they had a breakdown here in the backcourt with their traps, when you come up the trap, you got to stay disciplined. Unfortunately, Tech, they weren't disciplined in that situation, and now it broke their defense down.
And the foul is given to Green. That's going to be Green's 3rd. So Lofton remains at 3. Jamison at the line, 63%.
I know you've taught players in those situations when one of your best players is in foul trouble. Make sure you raise your hand.
No, not him. It was me.
It was me. I know sometimes you don't like to raise your hand in class, but on the basketball court, raise your hand in that situation.
Participation is required. Lofton from the top of the arc. Dribbling on Jamison. Help comes.
We say no participation awards in all these kids' sports, but we want you to have a participation award in that situation.
What a spin by Lofton. Jamison tried to overplay, and Lofton softly sinks it. Williams the steal! And one!
Foul charge for 13, Quan Jackson. Jackson's second personal foul, week 8.
Well, we got a couple of Conference USA all defensive players on both sides, so it's not just about Quan Jackson. Excellent, excellent steal and finish by Kobe with a C, Williams.
In and out. Rebound 11. UAB led this game by 19. It sits at 6.
Now we talked about to UAB's Coach Kennedy, were you concerned about the triple overtime game, conditioning, especially in the last 5 minutes of the game? Wasn't really overall concerned, but we'll see.
And one for Lubbock. And that's going to be Lofton's 4th foul.
Boy, just get pumped up when players can play through contact and finish those and ones in that situation.
You got to leave Lofton in, right? 4 fouls, 5.5 to go, but you're down 8. He's your guy.
Got to leave him in because, you know, in the first half, you take him out, and then UAB goes on a 4-0 run or 6-0 run. A 6-0 run right now, with UAB's experience, almost put this game away.
Lovin, the 3rd Blazer to double figures. Lofton remains in the game with 4. Jemison grimaced noticeably as he limped off. Hunter had just gone to the table and goes back to the bench. Archibald eyes Lofton. Williams wants it on high. Jackson overplay. Snap to Archibald. Rhythm 3. Rim it in.
That's their second friendly bounce this half.
And that's the iron that was off kilter. They had to bring the ladder out early to fix the iron. Jackson double passes to Ertl, turns it over, and the lefty finish, David Green.
Andy Kennedy's going to have to think about and consider a timeout.
Ertl pushes to Quan Jackson.
And what they're doing when they trap, they're rotating the weak side interceptor up to take away that next pass.
10 to shoot.
Hopefully we'll get a chance to show it now in next break.
Buffett ready to sub in, 4 to shoot. Ertl hoists and hits at the horn.
It's beyond amazing in situations like that, that this late in the game, Ertl would get to his left hand.
Loose on the deck, Ertl has it. Buffett clapping while he waits to sub in.
Man, as much credit as we give Jordan Walker, we got to really love on Ertl for his shot-making ability, especially here in the second half.
Under 4, dead ball means immediate.
And even Buffin has had his moments.
Ertl, deep 3 hits heel. Green taps it. His length has been impactful. Williams, right down the lane, had it stripped. Walker slows, 1 on 3. He blows by and draws a foul.
Yeah, nice steal here by La Tech. Solid trap. Rotate up with the weak side steal guy. Finish it in the paint. And now Ertl goes to his bread and butter. Left-handed fadeaway.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Heritage Landscape Supply Group, the fastest growing network of independent landscape supply distributors in the country, and by Werner, the official ladder of NCAA March Madness.
Back at the Conference USA Championship, UAB's lead once ballooned to 19, down to 6. Up next, our studio crew breaks down all the conference tourney news and highlights as we inch closer to tomorrow's selection show. It's Inside College Basketball right here on CBS Sports Network. Adam and the gang are standing by. I know John Rothstein is pumped. Selection Sunday is tomorrow. The tournament is nearly here. One of these teams will have that chance to dance.
Did John Rothstein give you some love on social media and not me?
He did. Yesterday? He did. He tagged you in it too, and he mentioned the legendary James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Which, if I can get any Darth Vader voice work, I would gladly take it.
I'm not going to be jealous. He featured you and CC'd me. Okay.
Don't worry, you'll be in the T-shirt game.
I'll see John next weekend. This weekend day.
Walker hits them both. Fouls are concerned. Buffin with 4 for UAB. Lofton and Green 4 apiece. Green picked up his 4th before the break. Louisiana Tech turned it over on each of its last 2 possessions, but has hit its last 6 from the field. And here, out of bounds off UAB.
UAB. Nice defense there, rotation from the weak side, but for Louisiana Tech, they must get quality shots. If it's a 2 or 3 or get to the free throw line, stop the clock. They can't have any misfires here this late in the game when you're down by 8.
Williams on the drive, Lofton, up fake, right at Jemison, lefty leaner is good.
Yeah. And that time, Lofton said, I'm not going to misfire on this shot. He missed one earlier.
Lofton with 20 to lead Louisiana Tech.
Jemison is just a hard guy to finish over inside.
Walker head of steam, bursts across the timeline. Ertl has sprung to life this half. He has carried the Blazer offense.
And that was a nice job by Walker. You either got to make an advanced pass, you can't pass the ball back and forth, or you just got to put your head down and beat that press.
Jemison wants it, playing on a bum wheel. He limped noticeably when he returned to the floor. 2 to shoot, the sweeping hook, in and out. Rebound, Quan Jackson. He had no angle.
And I know defensively he gets a lot of credit for steals, but that was basically a steal in that offensive rebound situation. He's got unbelievable quick hands.
Buffin a little short. Lofton has it. Funnels to Archibald.
They got to go to Lofton here.
They do. Isolated against Jemison. Nobody comes to help. Harassed. Hits it. And one. Kenneth Lofton Jr.
I don't think there's any defender in the country when Lofton gets this head of steam and secures the positioning underneath the basket, because now it kind of takes the shot blocking out of play, because when Jemison tries to jump up, he's basically going to touch the rim because he's too deep underneath the basket.
Louisiana Tech has hit its last 8 shots from the field. From down 19 points and 1 free throw, it sits at 3.
And we talked about it in the pregame, how Lofton Jr. really just inspires his teammates, and that's what he's doing now.
Man, this tournament has been fun.
Well, we thought it was going to be the first team to 75 would win this game.
Walker, he's been defensively. Slices, rejected, foul! David Green is fouled out.
Yeah, and you're fouling the wrong guy because, you know, today and yesterday, Jordan Walker is 20 for 20 from the free throw line. That's what you call perfecto.
That's an incredible surge. So Green done, Bradford in. The Bulldogs lose a lot. Green has been that ignition on the front end of the defense.
Jordan Walker, 2 shots.
Walker to shoot 2. He remains unblemished. Semifinals and beyond in this tournament. Junior against Jelly.
Yeah, star power. And we talked about it. You know, it's different shapes and sizes. We got the big round mound, Kenneth Lofton Jr., and the little engine that could in Jordan Walker, and he's making it happen.
Whoever wins this game in the automatic entry, that team will have a sizzling star and quite a tale to bring into the big dance.
I love when the stars play their role, when they play like stars and not supporting actors.
Archibald, double comes for him, passes out to Williams. 90 seconds. Archibald, offensive foul.
And that just shows you
Foul charge to Amari Archibald.
how much confidence UAB has in this 1-3-1 half-court zone.
And it was Walker who drew the charge. It's 3 on Archibald. It's double bonus rest of the way for both teams. Each has 9 fouls.
And we talked about the star powers earlier. Lofton Jr. gave up his body, took a charge, and now Jelly Walker sacrificed for the team.
That's the 6th offensive foul against the Bulldogs in this game.
Really hard guy to track full court.
Are they bleeding clock here?
Yes, they want to take this shot inside of 10 seconds. Probably in the perfect world, he's going to get it down to about 5 seconds on the shot before they attempt this shot.
The double comes on Walker. Snaps it to a wide open Buffin layup. Eric Conkle screaming timeout.
1 minute remaining.
Williams slowly saunters across. And they're not going to call the timeout.
And they're paying so much attention to Jordan Walker. Buffin got open.
And now the timeout comes. Williams drives and finishes. 50.9 seconds.
Walker understands that he's going to get double teamed. Right play at the right time.
Time now for the Heritage Landscape Supply Group Player of the Game. Who do you got?
Well, again, Jordan Walker's outstanding. But Ertl just was the best man in Jordan Walker's wedding because he played like a star, especially here in the second half. Came up big when UAB was kind of sputtering a little bit offensively.
He had 2 in the first. He's had 13 in the second. He dropped 26 in the semis against Middle Tennessee.
And as you alluded to earlier, Jordan Walker had a stretch there where he didn't score for 15 minutes.
Jordan Walker does more than score.
Yep. In this situation, you see these 2 defenders, and now Buffin is open on the weak side. Tried to pre-rotate to the shooter. Willis and left Buffin wide open, but give Jelly Walker credit.
15 automatic bids will be earned today. Virginia Tech has claimed the ACC. Montana State is in, Akron is in, Villanova is in. I know you were pumped when you heard about Johnny Jones, Texas Southern.
Yeah, you know I'm an HBCU graduate from the great Southern University, and old Johnny Jones got in for the 2nd consecutive year with Texas Southern. Congratulations.
Walker, 46 seconds, and the foul comes to Archibald. That's going to be his 4th.
Foul charge to number 3 on board.
And it's such a beautiful thing. You know, my junior and senior year at Southern, we made it to the tournament, and it was so special. The energy on campus, fans getting excited. You know, yes, we lost in the first round to Temple and Kentucky, but it's such a magical time.
Cannot replicate it. That's now 26 consecutive free throw makes for Walker going back to the quarterfinals. UAB tried to go back to the tournament for the first time since 2015. They made noise, beat 3-seed Iowa State. Conference USA has been prone to doing that in the last decade. Williams comes to a stop, rejected, puts it back. No, Bradford loses it out of bounds. Bulldog ball.
Jordan Walker is such a problem solver. Not just making big threes, driving to the basket, assisting his teammates, but these free throws. And look at Louisiana Tech. They're not going to quit. Looked like the ball went out on Lovin. Like his right hand caught it here, right there at the end.
The ruling on the floor was off UAB, and it looks like indeed Lovin had last touch. So what's some of the math and the dialogue in these huddles? 36.9. Louisiana Tech has no timeouts. Both teams in double bonus.
Yeah, Louisiana Tech, they'll have the ball out. If it's their ball, we believe that it's their ball. They got a free timeout here, the diagram of one of their go-to plays in this situation.
It looks like it should be 37.2. Currently sits at 36.9.
I guarantee you this replay will not take as long as the one we had on yesterday.
Well, how about this? I was told by a representative of DB Sport, which handles replay at all the arenas around college basketball. You know, we set a record yesterday. It was the most replays in any game ever that DB Sport has worked.
12?
12 replays in one game. So it is confirmed, Louisiana Tech ball, and it doesn't look like the clock is going to change. It still sits at 36.9. So Archibald, who was an all-state option quarterback at Trinity Christian Academy, will pull the trigger.
Yeah, look for Louisiana Tech to run a little bit of a squeeze play to potentially get Williams out to the corner. Bradford popping back, trying to punch it inside.
And they have added the time. It does go to 37.3.
So Lofton Jr., here it is. Williams going to the corner. Now they're going to look to throw it inside. They missed Lofton Jr.
And a foul comes after the Willis miss on the triple. Foul in pursuit of the loose ball with double bonus. So the clock frozen and Bradford to the line.
Yes, so, yep, here it is. The play was designed to try to get it inside the Lofton Jr. You can't say it's an ill-advised shot by Willis. He's 0 for 9 from the three-point line.
Bradford has struggled at the line. He converts on the first. Hasn't been there a ton. The Texas A&M transfer had only 28 attempts on the season entering this game. A slight 57% shooter. Every point critical, 33.1. Short. Rebound 11, UAB ball. He's smothered on the end line. Looking for help and a foul.
In situations like that, you got to be strong with the ball without committing an offensive foul. Nice job by Lovin. You understand that the defense is going to be swiping and stripping and reaching.
Well, the foul goes to Bradford, his third. Lovin only a 59% shooter. 4 of 5 tonight. And UAB is plus 11 in points at the line in this game. Converts. Jemison subbing back in. And it looks like he's going to come for the shooter in Lovin. When UAB has been in the tournament, it has taken names. It's beaten Kentucky twice, Indiana, Michigan State, LSU, Virginia, Missouri. Free throw miss. Here come the Bulldogs.
Right now, Louisiana Tech's got to think about knocking down, taking some threes, or getting traditional three-point plays at the basket.
That's going to just about do it. 14 seconds. Buffin gets hit. The last time the Blazers went to the big dance, 2015. They bested Middle Tennessee in the tournament title tilt. Their only win in their first 3 journeys to the Conference USA Championship. That was held in Birmingham, not at UAB's floor, but they had a lot of fans there. They knocked off Louisiana Tech in a tightly contested semifinal, bested the Blue Raiders, and then won a game on the biggest stage.
Let me tell you, when you think about UAB, this is a deep, experienced team. I would not want to play UAB in the first round.
These are the programs they have bested in the NCAA tournament. A lot of blue bloods. 14 seconds. Kobe Williams. 3 ball. Off, buffing the board. The final seconds fade. They can celebrate. 0.3 of a second with the ball out of bounds. They need one more entry.
The kids are so excited. This is a rough day for Tech. You know, the men and the women now have lost in the finals, but there's nothing to be ashamed about. Congrats to UAB.
The Blazers are back. UAB in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2015. Jordan Walker on his 3rd school. Time at Tulane, time at Seton Hall. The newcomer of the year took down his head coach's single-game program record for scoring. And now the conference player of the year has taken the program back to the NCAA tournament.
And congratulations to Coach Andy Kennedy. He's taken his alma mater back to the NCAA tournament. Jelly Walker was just beyond amazing. Look at it, he's so excited. It's the emotion. And then the disappointment and the dejection from Kenneth Lofton Jr. He poured his heart out. And when Jelly's excited, when you see this type of emotion, it's not just about the tournament. It's, you get flashbacks in your mind of when off-season practice starts in July, and the sprints, and the weight training sessions, and the disappointing losses, and it's the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. And right now, UAB is victorious and going to the NCAA tournament.
Louisiana Tech playing its 4th game in 4 days falls, and UAB moves on. The Blazers claim the conference crown, while the Bulldogs will have a long time to sit and think about what could have been. The pain of getting that close, the joy of knowing more is on the horizon. UAB will be on our air on CBS with the selection show coming tomorrow. What is this like, Coach?
Oh, man, this is so amazing. When you put that hat on and you see, you know, in this situation, Conference USA champions, tournament champions, look at Coach Kennedy. You know, kids, he and Jordan Walker, I wouldn't say they definitely don't have a love-hate relationship. It's a love-love relationship. He keeps him in his strengths. Jordan Walker talks about how much fun it is playing in this UAB system.
The UAB sets its new program record, 27th win, the winningest team in program lore. They'll have a chance for more in the big dance. For the coach, Avery Johnson, A.J. Ross, and our entire outstanding CBS crew, I'm John Sadak. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. We'll be back here in a bit to crown a champion, the Conference USA Trophy presentation. We send you back to Adam and the gang in our New York studio. UAB claims Conference USA.
Yes, the Blazers breathing fire once again on their way to the NCAA tournament. We welcome you back inside our New York studio For Inside College Basketball Bracket Week presented by Kubota until the top of the hour, Adam Zucker alongside Chris Walker, Wally Zerbiak, and John Rothstein. It got interesting for UAB, holding on to that 19-point lead. Got down to one possession, but they're on their way.
Jordan Walker, what a special tournament he had. 40 last night, triple overtime. Have that adrenaline and that energy to drop 27 more big points. Boy, can that kid play. Knocked down all his free throws, 11 for 11 from the free throw line. That's how you ice away games. Coach Walker, coaches love guys like that who can knock down those free throws and just ice away victories.
You know, and this win, and John, you and I have talked at length about this, talks about what the transfer portal can do. Right, Jordan Walker started at Seton Hall, then Tulane, and look what he's done at UAB. And this is the new college basketball. Get ready for it.
He's still got some energy, by the way.
No question. And this was an NCAA tournament or bust type season by Andy Kennedy. He made that really clear early because he leaned on the transfer portal so much. This group was only going to be together for one season. They've maxed things out. UAB to the NCAA tournament.
Going to the NCAA tournament, and as John said, Andy Kennedy back there as well, but doing it at his alma mater this time. 82-73 winners, and Jelly had the peanut butter down the stretch, 11 of 11 at the line. All right, we're going to have highlights coming up as well, but of course we are not done in Frisco. A.J. Ross will have the CUSA Trophy ceremony next.
Inside College Basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Kubota. Together we do more.
Another ticket is punched. We are heading back to Frisco, Texas now for the CUSA Championship Trophy presentation. The UAB Blazers and A.J. Ross.
That's right, this is March Madness. I am here in Frisco, Texas with the 2022 Heritage Landscape Supply Group Men's Conference USA champions, the UAB Blazers. We have some important people to thank before we get underway. Well, here's the trophy being presented by Commissioner Judy McLeod. Thank you so much, Judy, for your tireless efforts. We also have to thank our title sponsor, Heritage Landscape Supply Group. And representing Heritage Landscape Supply Group was Chris McMurrow, the COO.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
But let's get to the celebration here. Coach Andy Kennedy, amazing journey for your team. Florida Atlantic, then you go to triple overtime with Middle Tennessee, now this nail biter here. Talk about the journey that this team has been through and how tough they are to succeed.
Well, I'm really proud of this group because all year long we had a vision and they put in the necessary work. We felt like we were the best team in Conference USA. No disrespect to anyone. North Texas earned that right in the regular season, and this was an opportunity for us to do what we felt was our destiny. And all we had to do was just be best version of self, and I think we did that over this weekend to earn this conference championship.
And you're punching your first ticket to the big dance since 2015. You have 9 transfers on this team, a lot of new faces here at UAB. How much more special does it make this moment with these new guys?
Well, this team just notched its name in the history book of UAB, and that is a rich, rich history. 44 years started by our founding father, Gene Bartow, and when I took the job, I talked about trying to get this program back to the Gene Bartow standard. The Gene Bartow standard is cutting down nets, which is what we're about to do, and advancing to the NCAA tournament.
Well, I'm about to interview the guy to your left next, but I want to ask you quickly about him. Jordan Jelly Walker has been nothing but impressive this entire season and this tournament. What else can you say about him?
Well, Jelly's been a dynamic playmaker from day one. We had a vision for him. He came and did the work. He really matured into the quarterback of this team. And when we needed plays to be made, Jelly made them.
He did indeed. Jelly, you're on deck. It's Jelly time.
Hold on, we are live. Say what up real
It's
quick.
Jelly time.
We on CBS. Ryan, say what you say though.
Jelly, what can I say? You put on an amazing performance,
Yes,
like I
ma'am.
just mentioned, throughout the season, throughout this tournament, along the perimeter. You've just been an amazing amazing player.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, ma'am.
how
I'm
special is this moment for you? You've always credited your team and your coach, but how special is this moment for you and this team?
First of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm a big believer, and my teammates know, they might not say it right now, but I listen to gospel music before every game, you know, and I really don't know what to say. This moment is surreal, and I don't really want to cry. You know what I'm saying? Too many people watching me, but like, I just thank God, and I thank my teammates. I thank my family. I thank Coach AK. I don't even really know what to say, man. I don't really know what to say.
It's a testimony, and obviously you took a leap of faith too. This is your first year at UAB. You transferred from Tulane.
Absolutely.
So how much is it special for you now to be going to the big dance?
It's surreal. It's surreal, and because at Seton Hall I went, but I didn't go because I was hurt, so I didn't even go to the tournament with them. Then at Tulane, I never went to the tournament, and now coming to UAB for the first time and being an actual contributor and actually helping the team truly get to the NCAA tournament and be a vital part. It's like I say, it's surreal. I feel like I'm dreaming, and like I say, and I don't mean to keep being repetitive, but I just gotta thank God, because if people really knew my story and people really knew what I went through and all the things that people doubted me and people said I wasn't good enough, from coaches to players since I was little, it's crazy, man, it's crazy.
Well, you've proved them all wrong.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
going ahead, you're going to be repping Conference USA in the tournament. Why should people not underestimate this UAB team going forward?
I said it before, we not scared of nobody. Like, we got across our chest to say no quit. It don't matter who you are. It don't matter what's across your chest. We coming at you. We coming at you.
And in the meantime, we partying here in Frisco.
I don't really party like that, but I'm definitely going to be having fun with my teammates for sure.
All right, get some rest.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, so I'll party for them here in Frisco, and I'll send it back to you, Adam, in New York. You can party there, keep the party going in our studios.
Oh, I don't think it's going to be as fun here as it is going to be in Frisco. And Jelly Walker brings the party. I thought maybe we could get our pictures taken with him.
Yeah.
He was all excited
Lively.
to be on CBS, and it's just awesome to see this young man thriving and see this program hoisting that trophy. They are clearly excited and fearless to be moving on.
Yeah, no, and it's an incredible story. Again, Andy Kennedy coming home to his alma mater. And look at this big picture right now. Andy Kennedy has now led 2 programs to the NCAA tournament. Ole Miss multiple times during his tour of duty in Oxford, and now, after again being removed as head coach of his alma mater, he took a little bit of a breath, he recharged himself, he gets back in his alma mater. UAB is a team that can win a game in the round of 64 because of the veteran high major experience. We've talked about Jelly Walker. Trey Jemison started his career at Clemson. KJ Buffin started his career at Ole Miss. So there is not going to be that potential intimidation factor, because these are guys that are used to seeing high major competition.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Coach Andy Kennedy set the bar high. He set the expectations high, and when you meet those expectations as a team, there's no better feeling. They felt like they went into that tournament the team to beat. He told his team, we want to cut down those nets. If we don't cut down those nets, the season is a failure. And for them to reach those expectations, that says a lot about his kids and what he did as a coaching job, bringing all those transfers together to accomplish their goal.
I'm just going to echo the same point you guys made. Like, there are a lot of coaches that can coach talent, but to get that many players on the same accord and actually get it to a point where you get a championship out of it, it gets to fruition. That is an amazing job by Andy Kennedy. That's why he's a great coach. Again, no shame in being shown the door at Ole Miss, and now he's at UAB where he wants to do it. Great job, Jelly Walker.
Yeah.
A distant cousin.
Looking. Jam?
Yeah, but take him. I'm Jam. Jelly and Jam.
Looking forward to seeing who they're going to play here when the tournament gets going.